head. I'm not going to be able to sit back like this, are you?
No.
How do we know that the video? How do we know that the microphone's working?
I don't know. We just got to let people come on and see. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. I think there's supposed to be chat somewhere on the side, but I don't know if. Maybe I need to click this. All messages are visible. Okay.
Chat view options. You got to check that one. The second one. This might be a disaster, people.
Usually there's little people that come up. I see that little person at the top. I think
maybe it's us.
I'm hoping.
Maybe that person is thinking, what did I check with this box?
Well, that's okay. We're going
to talk to ourselves anyway.
Because it's going to upload anyway. And if there's nobody here on the live, that's fine.
We'll put it on our channel.
It's like, boing, boing. We are in New Mexico.
Guys, we're in New Mexico.
In the Sandia Mountains. I see 3 people on there. So there must be some, I don't know. We can't read your chat. We've got bad eyesight. I don't got my granny glasses on.
I don't even see any words coming up. There.
There they are. You can see us. Okay.
Nutty Arties, Lisa Jones in the UK. Okay, yay. All right.
We did it. We did it right.
Well, I don't know that we've ever done a YouTube
I think
live.
we have. I think we have.
I know we've done an Instagram live, but not YouTube live. Anyway, should we introduce ourselves just in case people are like,
sure.
Who is that?
Absolutely. You go first.
I have to go first every time because
I
usually start. Oh my gosh. Debbie just had a birthday yesterday and she's making me go first. I'm Amy. I live in Georgia. I'm the older of the two by 15 months.
I'm Debbie. I live in San Diego, California. I'm the younger by 15 months.
So we had not been on a sister's trip in a while. And we always love getting together. And really yesterday it's our podiversary. We totally forgot. We didn't say anything.
I know.
We didn't post anything about podiversary. And last year we said it was our 4-year podiversary. And then we come to find out the grocery girls are like, it's not. It's 5-year because they started like a month before us. So now it's been our 6th year. It's our 6th year yesterday.
6 years. And we have not been good. Thank you. I see. Happy birthday. We have not been good at podcasting because we have been lifing.
And adulting.
Lots of changes in our lives these last couple of years. Lots of exciting changes.
And no, I have not gotten a new husband. I've had the same one for the last 7.5 years. So this is...
But they've just started a new business, which is very exciting. That's the exciting news that I was talking about. So, yeah, been very busy. I've been working at my new job and just enjoying my puppy and enjoying my kids, being in college, and
Luke is finally, after now his 2nd year, he finally gets to go away and do college for real.
And playing live baseball on the field with other teams, and
that is so exciting.
Kicking butt like normal.
We're going to watch him to play today.
Yes.
So we will talk about all kinds of things, and we'll hear it later from the Knitting Nana and say, why did you talk so much about that? Because nobody really cares about that.
But we will show our knitting and our projects too. Maybe we should start off with that and do all the life stuff at the end, because that way, if you're not interested in the life stuff, we don't have to worry about putting a timestamp and all that. We can just get right into what we're working on. You can enjoy the knitting, and then we can do life chat at the end, and you guys can decide if you want to hang on for that or not. I make an executive decision today.
Okay, show something.
I'm the birthday weekend. Okay, so this is one of the gifts that Amy gave me for my birthday. She bought us a Hugh Loco surprise mystery skein
for Valentine's Day.
And this is what came in the mail. Isn't that gorgeous? It's called
Still Into You.
And it came with hot pink. Look at that hot pink. That's true color right there.
Yeah.
That's true to color. We're sitting in front of a window. Mini. And I am doing my normal 2 at a time socks with, I know, it's beautiful, huh? With 2.25 millimeter needles, size 1. I did about 20 rows of 2x2 rib. And then I started the color. And Amy's a lot farther so you can see more of the knitting because she does 1 at a time. Look at how much she said. She just did a lot of knitting, and I did a lot of talking, I guess, in the last...
Which is so totally unlike us. Usually I'm doing all of the talking all the time. No, when we're together, I think it's pretty equal, isn't it, Deb?
Sure.
Shush. I didn't really want to know the
No,
truth
it is.
about that.
Well, you know, when I have to
Isn't that
do my
gorgeous?
talking, I just tell you, okay, let me talk for a minute, and then you're a good listener.
Yeah.
But I think we just both get so excited with our company, with each other, that we interrupt each other, and we have to take a breath now and then and listen
Yes.
and let the other talk. So we're learning still in our elderly age. And so yes, show them that.
This was one a couple years ago. I bought a Ms. Babs Advent, and her minis were actually like 38 grams. So I split one of the minis, and so I think we're gonna do the toes in the pink, and then do heels in this blue teal. It'll be pretty,
beautiful, deep.
So we'll be twinnies.
Greeny.
It's a little more green.
It's a little more green in real life than what you see here. So yeah, this looks really midnight blue kind of, but it's a little bit more green. Was this mine?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the first thing, and I just started yesterday, right? Because we just got it yesterday.
Yeah.
And been doing a little bit of knitting there.
So when we flew in on Wednesday afternoon, it was a beautiful day, and by the time we went to Vietnamese lunch / supper because we were starved, and then we
recommended by a good friend.
Yep, we went to get a couple groceries, and by the time we came to this little VRBO, it was already after dark, and we found our way. And you know, the Motel 6 will leave the lights on for you. We have rented, I mean, really privately between the two of us and our families, many VRBOs and Airbnbs. Yeah. This is the only
probably up to a dozen, maybe.
Probably
not many, like lots and lots.
Yeah, but
enough. Enough.
This is probably the only one that we are definitely going to make plans on coming back.
Yeah.
This is the coolest place to spend some unplug getaway time ever.
It's a little redone basement apartment that has a beautiful master bedroom with sitting area where we're sitting right now. There's one bathroom, full bath, which is perfect. There's a beautiful dining space with a nice table we can sit at and eat or do artwork like we're doing.
There's art everything.
Beautiful living room, big rock fireplace.
Which is on a thermostat. So when we got here, all the little lights were on. It was when we came in, the fire was roaring.
Yeah.
It's a gas fireplace. What in the world? How did they know to do all this? Well, it wasn't until the next day we actually left in the daylight. We're like, oh, I guess the people that own this live upstairs. We didn't know if it was a single. We didn't know anything about it. We showed up in the dark.
And then there's another bedroom in the back that has 2 twin beds.
Mm-hmm.
This room
and
is
a little kitchenette.
I
mean, we've cooked shrimp and we've made spaghetti squash in the oven, and so we wine in the refrigerator. And then we came out the next morning. We're like, oh my gosh, Debbie, there's 2 horses.
Oh, horses!
Like right on the other side of the driveway. There's a barn with 2 horses. And it's called. You fly to New Mexico. It's at the base of the Sandy in Albuquerque. The base of the Sandia Mountains, and this place you have to drive around to the other side of the mountain. It's a little higher elevation. There are mounds of snow. Did he say it was 16 inches of snow they got?
Yes, 2 weeks ago they got 16
There's still snow on the ground here. Yeah. But it's at the base. This place is at the base of all. You see all those trails? You notice how I did that? See them? And we haven't done any hiking.
Well, but because the snow melt has happened over the last 2 weeks.
It's a little wet, muddy.
Yeah, it's a little soggy. Where we started to try and walk in our sneakers, we were not outfitted for big hiking. So we were like, okay, we'll just walk down the road. And we did a little bit of a walk yesterday. And we hopped in the car.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, right. Our first full day here. We kind of stayed close to home. We slept. Didn't really sleep in. If you look at her post.
Sat by the
fire, talked.
Knit.
We were not going to do all this talking. We
were going to show. Fiber. Get on it, lady.
Gosh. So this is my other pair of socks that I had been knitting before I came, and I finally got to the point. Yeah, I think when I started the airplane, I was right in here. Got all this knit. Now I'm starting to put in the toes, which is Sweet Georgia color that I've had for a while. Gonna do the toes, and then I'm gonna cut in the heels, and it's gonna be a nice stripy pair of socks. And I still have quite a bit.
Who is it by? Freckled Whimsy?
Freckled Whimsy, yes. Which, here.
I know the striping. It's all about stripes this weekend.
Freckled Whimsy, and this was called an Oops Good and Everyday skein. And I think the reason why it's an oops is because there maybe was 2 lengths of the gray here. You see how that's a little bit wider?
Color grays and one was a little, it's all.
Maybe, I think that's the only thing that I could see that would be considered an oops here, but I don't mind the wider.
I didn't even notice that.
Gray. These are 2 different colors. They're just kind of close together. There's a greenish and then there's a peachy here. Those are 2. It's not picking up very well. Not peach.
Gray.
Gray.
I think it might be gray.
Purpley gray. So anyway, these are almost finished. And check this out. Look at how much I still have left.
You
These
know what
will
you
make
do?
another pair or fingerless mitts.
Yes. Does anybody else have like all of these little tiny nugget skeins of self-striping and you don't know what to do with them? Make fingerless mitts. And if you hold mohair with it, they make the most beautiful
fuzzy,
mitts.
Warm.
Does anybody wonder what we're wearing? This is my absolute favorite hand knit sweater. I've worn it more than any of the other sweaters I have in my closet that are stacked up.
I think this one's my favorite too.
And this was not knit by me. This was a Christmas gift from yours truly to me a couple years ago. It's the Elton by Joji, and
the pattern calls for mohair as one of the stripes, and I just did a lace weight merino, a pale purple lace weight merino, and then the other one is silk merino from Twisted Sisters Fibers or something like that. I don't remember. You'd have to.
Isn't that stunning?
Yeah.
And 3/4 length. I think I want to knit all the sweaters, but with me and my hot flashes and all the hormonal changes, I cannot wear them. I can't even wear them out to eat for a short period of time because I get.
You mean pullovers?
Everything.
Oh, really?
Everything. It's got it, unless it's I can push the sleeves up. It's just, it's horrible. Twisted. Will,
no, I don't. No, it had sisters in 3 sisters
knit.
I don't know. I'd have to look back at my Ravelry page.
Anyway, if you want a lightweight, breathable, I mean, it's like just having it's almost like having a little a t-shirt. It's almost like a little breathable t-shirt. It is probably the best. I mean, I think you should knit me another one.
I started one yarn that you dyed for me. I just haven't finished it. And then this is the Princess Fiona sweater. Remember with the lace? And this yarn is sport weight that I got on our EYF trip from
La Bien-Aimée.
La Bien-Aimée, and it was the Echinesse colorway. She picked it out for me.
I can't believe you got a shirt underneath that. How are you not dying?
I'm not dying.
Yeah, I'll be dying. Okay. Yeah. More fiber, man.
More fiber. Show what you got going on.
Oh, so I started. Okay, so a couple years ago, I bought some Ms. Babs. This is the colorway. I started a sweater, and then it sat and it sat, and it's what is it? It's sort of like a worsted, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are her big skeins called?
Oh, Yowza.
Yes. Okay. And I said, I'm not gonna let some beautiful yarn just sit in the whip cemetery. So I unraveled all that yarn recently, and I said, I am like on a kick of worsted / DK shorty socks that are like slipper socks. It's the only kind almost I wear now. I'm not sure why, but I just do. My feet must not get too hot. So, and I'm not really even sure where I got this
that
green.
Looks like it looks like a Malabrigo.
And this,
to me.
you see this, it's got stellina. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. So I started these, and I just made a little slip stitch at the top.
Texture.
Yeah, just because. And so these, I started when I got on the plane, and I've already finished. I mean, these, literally, you can make one of these in one day. If you
because they're DK.
They're DK.
How many stitches do you put on?
So US, mine usually are US 5, and I cast on for a woman's sock 44 to 48, and for a men's, like my son's Sasquatch feet, 52, 54-ish around there. That's sort of my recipe.
Yeah.
Let's show so yes, let's talk about your birthday yesterday just a little bit. Because yesterday...
Wait, let me show the another project I'm working on.
Oh, yes, let's do that.
Is this all the knitting and fiber stuff we have? Mm-hmm. Okay, then people...
So people can leave and not listen to us
My best friend, Tanya, her son, who got married last year, and his wife are expecting their first baby in September. And I decided to take my advent calendar that I got from I'm gonna have to post.
You came so unprepared.
I know. I was very prepared. I got an advent calendar, all the 20-gram mini skeins.
Where did you get that from, Debbie?
I'm trying to remember.
Was it Big Sky?
Maybe, yes. Big Sky Yarn
Cassie.
Company. Yes, I believe that's what it was. And
oh,
so I went
at her
through,
brain.
Yes,
oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself.
And then I added a couple others because I wanted to kind of have a bit of a rainbow theme because we don't know if it's a boy or girl. I decided to knit the circle and square pattern.
Knit or crochet?
I mean crochet, circle and square pattern.
See what happens when she has a birthday?
It's a good thing you're here to correct me, or I would have it all
Can
wrong.
I put it forward?
Sure.
Okay.
And so the gray is a oh my gosh, my brain is not working. Yeah, you can do that while I think. It's Knit Picks Stroll Fingering is the gray in their Dove Heather colorway.
So it's the circle. It's the circle here, and then this
one round makes it a square, and then double crochets all the way around makes it a little bit bigger.
And that's so pretty.
And I'm stripping them together.
And look how big! It's just like smaller than like your palm.
And I'm stripping them together, and then I'm gonna move it over one square, and they're gonna make diagonals. So then you can kind of see.
Also doing a crochet afghan.
Yeah. So each color will come up in a diagonal, and then I also have it goes all the way to like purple.
So it'll be a rectangle, and it'll have this diagonal.
Yeah.
Rainbow theme. From purples all the way up to the reds at the top and pinks.
Yes.
And yellows.
So isn't that cute?
That is so cute.
There are going to be millions of ends to weave in because every square is going to have every connection until I do.
Has 2 ends.
And then I have to do all. But as you can see, I'm sewing in.
Are you going to connect it with a different color? Or are you going to keep with
gray? These are all connected with gray.
Oh yeah.
And then once I make all my strips, and you can see here, let me put the square back on the right pile so I don't.
Hello, Dag.
Oh, Dag is watching us.
Hey, Mark.
And then you can see all my little stack of squares. This is another row, another row, another row.
Thank you. Mother's Day shawl info. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay.
We'll talk about the
1, 2. So there's going to be 13 rows of 10 circles. That's what I calculated for the size of my blanket.
You did the math first. I'm so proud.
I did, and I have a little book in here.
Did you show the back of all of these?
I did. I just showed that while you were talking to Dag.
Oh.
So I have this little book, and this kind of shows this. I planned it out. See? I have all my colors, and then I have my little diagonals done. And then I'm keeping track of how many more I need to do of each color. And then once they're all finished and made, then I will string them together.
Check it off the list.
Checkmate.
Honey.
So the baby's not due until September, so I've got time. But yeah, life. So working on it a little bit at a time.
And if they don't get it for the baby,
that's
get it
right.
for their 5th birthday.
No, they won't get it for the 5th birthday.
I mean, like a baby blanket, Mom. I'm not a baby anymore.
So this is a stroller. This is going to be stroller size for them to.
Which is smaller than a crib
blanket. Smaller than crib blanket for sure. Okay, that's it. That's all the fiber you guys get.
No, they don't, because we're going to talk about what happened yesterday where we spent our entire day for Debbie's birthday.
Yes.
The one nice thing about coming to New Mexico and Albuquerque is one of our BFFs,
Dagmar Zia Wools.
Has the Zia Wools podcast. Say hi again, Dag. She's watching. And she has a dye studio and a gorgeous house and a sweet, sweet, sweet husband and children. And we just decided that we were going to come out of the woods on Debbie's birthday and do something. So we picked up some breakfast burritos. It's me. And she made us incredible coffee for her little bistro coffee.
Yes.
And then, let me think, after we did that, we went over to
Pen and Pad,
which is an inky fountain pen journal and paper stationery store. We're going to talk about all of that trip in a little bit, but before we do that, we went to her
Wyatt
store.
says hi. Hi, Wyatt. Hey. Shout out to Wyatt.
That's her husband. It's so funny. We're not in that. We didn't show up at the house 5 minutes, and he says, "Are you guys going to do a podcast?
When y'all doing a podcast?
We haven't seen a podcast in a while." I'm like, "What? You have us here in person. Like, why do you need a podcast?" He just loves to watch us.
He enjoys listening to your banter, your chatter.
So we're going to show, because Debbie got the same, so I'm just going to bring it up. We went shopping at Dag's store.
Dag's Zia Wool store. She was very kind and opened up her bins for us and let us go searching through her bins. We wanted to get some more DK because I'd like to make some DK socks.
Debbie has no DK because she lives in San Diego, and why do you need DK?
Very true.
And I am in Georgia, and we get sometimes cold weather, and so I have a lot of leftover DK. So we both each got, and I don't even know that they even have names. Well,
Dad's gonna have to put the color names in.
So we snagged each a skein of these. Her speckles are so incredible. And actually this blue skein in real life is
a little bit more green. Has a for some reason it's having a hard time picking up the green.
And with chartreuse and
look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember?
It is so
bouncy
and fluffy and plump. All the things that you don't want somebody to describe your body type like. We'll talk about that in a little bit too.
And it smells good too.
And I got an extra one of these. Oh, this is her cozy. This is her cozy base.
Yeah.
75-25 super harsh merino nylon.
100 grams, 245 yards. Yeah.
So I don't know why I tend to greens and blues all the time because I have 2 boys and a daughter. Sky doesn't wear my knitted socks much, and my husband. So most of the knitted socks and short socks I'm making is for men. So I tend to, and my one son Levi, he says, I don't care what color it is, make them bright pink. I don't care, I'll wear them. So I do sometimes make him some stripy.
And then we split a skein of her worsted.
Look at this. You got,
oh no, that's also cozy. Did I put the wrong tag? I think I put the wrong tag.
This is yours, but that's okay. Oh no.
She set out 2 cozy tags for the skeins that we bought. These skeins that didn't have tags,
this
and
is
I wrapped
base.
into her.
This almost looks like a birthday cake colorway, but she pulled out a bin for her own personal skeins that she kept because she liked them so much. I don't know why she brought them out because of course we wanted all the ones in that bin, and she said that I can have this one. So I split it with Deb's. Look at those speckles. Doesn't it look like birthday cake, like confetti?
I think I'm
going to
make a baby hat out of mine.
Oh my gosh, it's like stunning.
Very talented.
Stunning. So then after we got back from, we were going to take the tram, which is like this. It's not a gondola. What is that gondola that you in the water? Aren't those gondolas?
There are also gondolas that are like a
sky.
Yeah,
thing. Yes. And I remember on the news, World News, a couple months ago, that one of those things.
Over a year ago.
No, it wasn't.
That's what. Why
was it over
a year ago?
I even messaged Dag, and she's like, "I didn't realize that happened. Did that happen here?" Got stuck overnight with people in it.
Oh heck no!
I was like, yeah.
We were gonna do it, and then we got out and about, and we felt how windy it was.
It was so windy yesterday, like dust and blowing, and the mountain got kind of foggy because of all the dust. And I said, no, we're just not going to do that this time. So Deb and I just hung out. Well, Dag finished her dyeing, and
we ran some errands, and then we came back to her house, and she was nice
then
enough to host
she
us.
made us the most delicious supper of anything. We thought about going out, and she's like, well, we'll just make something. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, okay.
They treated me like a queen on my birthday. I got the golden placemat that her kids
and a
used
candle.
To get, and my own personal candle.
We had chicken and fettuccine with asparagus and mushrooms and a red sauce, and then cherry pie with ice cream for dessert. Like, what?
Yeah.
And we sat around that. I know that they probably thought we were crazy.
I think her son's girlfriend, Elena, I think her name is.
She thinks we're crazy.
She thinks we're a little bit.
She's like, who let those girls out? And when do they get locked back in?
When do they get locked up again?
So we sat around the table and talked and laughed and told stories. And then it was getting later and we knew we had to go. And we made, then we had a PT session because I had to, Lewis needed some PT on his thumb. And then Wyatt's like, well, I got a whole shoulder. What do I do with that? It hurts when I do that. And I said, don't do that. See how expensive that PT advice was. And I asked Dag.
You gave them each an assignment of things to do, which I think they really appreciated. And they said, can we call you back? And if we have, and she said, of course.
You can call me back.
Yes.
And if I had a clinic, I would do this, this, and this, but I was trying to keep them from having to pay for much of anything.
Yeah. Well, I think luckily both of their injuries were not major things that would be very difficult.
They don't need weeks and weeks of PT. They just need to change a couple things.
Yeah. So
and then since we watched Lewis play his recital,
The night before.
The night before, and then his thumb was injured very much. Then we said, Elena plays piano too, his girlfriend. So we said, Elena, please, will you play something? You have to play something. So we went upstairs to the keyboard, and she played a classical piece.
She played a Chopin waltz. Chopin waltz. And when she started playing,
no, not all of us, Debbie, and then I had to cry.
As soon as she started playing, I was like, we know this because
we've heard it multiple times.
Dad played this all kinds of classical music. It was like the first time I heard Louis play. He played. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. Claire de Lune. And I was like, my dad played this for my mom. And I just listened. And same thing with Elena. I just sat, we stood and listened, and after it was over, I couldn't help I start crying. And
it was like the best day ever.
It was the best birthday ever. And she felt like, oh no, I made you cry, but we're like, no, that was the best gift ever. It was great. Yeah. And so we really enjoyed that. That was awesome. We came back and it was dark and scary driving up the mountain in the dark, but we made it.
We didn't go down one-way streets and we're like, oh my God, we're on the right side of the road.
Yeah.
So we got back. And
why are you crying now?
I'm just thinking about
memories.
Yeah. I used to be when I was little.
I know.
I remember one night when we were still in the Perkins house, and I was probably about 8 years old. I don't know where you guys were, but I was waiting for one of my girlfriend's parents to pick me up for a sleepover. And Dad was playing the piano that sits in my house now. And I was laying at his feet.
In the house?
Yes.
On the left-hand side of the dining room.
I was laying at his feet under the piano, listening to him play, and I think they came to pick me up, and I said, I don't want to go.
I don't want to go anymore.
I don't want to go. And they left like, oh God, we're not going to bite this one.
You didn't
I don't know.
Go.
I didn't go. I just wanted to stay right there at his feet.
Dad.
Now I need a tissue.
Okay, go get a tissue. It did bring back a lot of memories, and my dad doesn't have his keyboard anymore. But luckily we do have recordings. My dad made a CD of a bunch of songs for us several years ago, and we each have a CD, and that is a very, very cherished gift for us now. So we can enjoy his music that way, and we get to remember, we have these memories of those times, and sometimes just having the memories are just as good as being able to listen to the music directly from Dad. So that was an awesome day. I had the best birthday. Last year's birthday was really great too. I really enjoyed last year's birthday. I was home. My boys took me out to the beach. We had a bonfire. Tanya was there, and we had dinner together, and that was wonderful. But this was really a special birthday. Lots of fun and exciting things happening in our lives at this point in time. So,
and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So we just decided, and it was like the perfect. How we spaced, you know how there's some vacations that you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, it went so fast. What do you mean tomorrow we gotta leave?
Yeah.
It really hasn't felt that way. I think because we're
being intentional about spending time together. Oh, there's a little puppy out there.
There is
a little doggy.
Oh. So yeah, we decided that this day, of course, we hung out.
We had 3 days, 3 full days. First day we hung out together, spent a lot of quality time. Middle day was the birthday. We got out and about, spent time with Dag and the family and all of that. And then today's our last full day together. We did the same thing.
Just kind of hung
out. Got up super
out.
Early just so that we'd have more time together. That's what we always do. We stay up late, get up early, sleep later when we get home.
Yeah.
Made coffee and
you can always sleep when you're dead, but you can't visit.
We watch videos together and we talk and pause like every
5 seconds.
Every 10 seconds, because then it puts us on a tangent. We talk about what with this goal. We got to write that down. We got to think about what piece of adulting do we need to do when we get home. And so and then tomorrow we got to get up super early and get back to our lives.
Like 4 o'clock. We're gonna be up way early to get out. But it's gonna be. And I'm taking off Monday. Debbie's not. But what is the wool sock yarn base called? Oh, you would have to ask that.
She has a couple different sock yarn bases. She has Sandia, and she has.
But that's not a DK. I don't know if she's asking about any of them.
Sock weight, she said.
Oh,
like
sock
fingering
yarn.
weight.
Oh, yeah.
She has Sandia, and she has Dreamcatcher.
Let her type it.
Yeah, maybe type that in.
Dad, you've got homework. You didn't realize you'd have homework.
But that's
Watch
okay.
the comments.
If she's still watching,
and she's got an Etsy shop.
Yes. She does. If you look up
Zia, Z-I-A.
Z-I-A-W-O-L-S.
L-Z. Oh, S. Yeah. L-Z. I know, is that backwards probably?
Yeah. So go to Etsy and check her out. She's dyeing a whole bunch of yarn for a festival that's coming up.
She's got some stunning colorways. Stunning. Yeah. I want like one of everything.
So tonight we're going to venture out for our final meal together.
So we got up this morning, watched a couple videos, took some notes, talked about financial planning, talked about our new venture coming 2 days. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And Debbie says, well, I want to do some art. I brought my paints, I brought paper, I brought my card making supplies, I brought all kinds of things. So Debbie's going to paint a little bit this afternoon, and then we're going to go out for our last supper. Maybe we'll talk to Brad, the guy that lives upstairs that owns this place, and say, if you had to go one place before you left this town or nearby, where would you go out to eat? So
he gave us a whole list in the chat, in the VRBO chat messaging center.
This is an incredible, if you guys need to look, what is it? Pine Cone. It's called Pine Cone.
Pine Cone Inn, yeah, the Sandia Mountain,
Pine Cone Inn. There's
some stuff from
Dag.
So we highly recommend it. It sleeps 6, but 2 of the sleeping arrangements are the futon in the living room, and it's only 1 bathroom. So
maybe 4 people would
4 people, I think, would be comfortable. 2 couples would probably be comfortable, or a
kid,
family
and a kid can sit on the futon.
Yeah. So anyway,
but such a good place to just.
So tell them about what I.
Are we done with fiber in case everybody wants to get up going?
Yeah, we already. Yeah.
Well, it's not bashing anybody. If knitting and all the fiber are your thing, then we're going to be talking about other things. And thank you for coming to watch us. And it may be another year before you see us again. No, we won't. It'll be summertime.
We always say that, and then it's always 4 to 6 months later. So we'll see.
And things change so much in those times. But thank you for coming. Okay, what do you want to talk about? What's kind of the changes in our lives? We were going to talk
about the
MCAL. Oh. Yes. Oh wait, yes, the MCAL. Oh, sorry.
Who is that saying?
Oh, they're just like, God, they have short-term memory much?
It's probably.
Okay, MCAL. It was Debbie's turn to design. Debbie's like, I don't have the brain space. I don't just, no, but that's okay. Because I'm always thinking about that. And she's like, well, I was thinking something squishy, something. And well, that's not what I was thinking. If I'm going to design, I'm going to do. But then I ended up, we collaborate anyway.
Yeah.
I created design. I knit it and had somebody else knit it with me. And she's just like, well, I had pictures. So you may want to get 2 test kniters to do this because it may have some other.
That was good advice.
So, yeah. So thank you, Abir and Beth. They test knit it very quickly, like in a week. Danielle did it first. And literally they knit it in a week. So I wanted this, and I know we're hopefully coming out of the pandemic, and I know there's a lot of other things in this world that it's taking mind space. I wanted this, unlike some of the other things that I've designed for the MCAL, I wanted this MCAL to be TV knitting, easily memorizable. There's only 3 clues. There's no applied border edge or anything like that. Nothing very difficult.
It is a wrap.
It is a wrap, like most of our things. There's a couple new stitches, only because I made them up, because I just make things up like that. Mm-hmm. But the people who tested it without a picture were able to do them. So I was very impressed that I guess my description was well enough. So Mother's Day in the U.S. is mid-May, I think. First or second, maybe second. My type of knitting. Good. TV knitting. So the first clue, there'll be 3 clues each week, and they will, let me look.
1 clue each week for 3 weeks.
Yes. So April 1st, that is coming up. I need to organize myself. April 1st, 8th, and 15th. That's on Fridays. I like sending clues out Fridays because then you guys have the whole weekend to kind of get started.
Yeah.
So the 1st, 8th, and the 15th. The first Fridays in April are going to be the clues. Plenty of time for blocking and
April
gifting.
Fools, it will come out on April 1st. It
actually come out on April 1st. So be ready. So what you need is you need 1 skein of DK. And then you need all of your fingering scraps, advents, anything else goes.
Leftovers.
So that's all I'm going to tell you that you need. And there will be, I think when I get home, I think on Monday when I have off, I need to send them all at the same time. Thank you for reminding me of that. I think the last time, it was because I was here. I was here in California last year for your birthday, and I had all it split up.
But we were together. Yeah. You were in California, not New Mexico.
No, not New Mexico. Yes, we were together. And I did. I sent out the first clue and I was like, okay, I've got the second and third, and we're going to be in New Mexico.
And all clues were in the first.
After the second, when I sent the second clue, they got all the rest of the clues all at the same time. And some people were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm thinking, I am such a dingbat. This is not going to happen again. So I won't send them all. I'm going to send one at a time. I promise. One at a time. So when I get home on Monday, I have to write myself a note because I've got a lot of things on my list on Monday. I need to put the info page up on Ravelry. Watch my IG space, and I'll let you know when that's there for all of the details. It worked. It was so funny to be truthful. Well, it's what it happened.
Yeah.
It's called life. Because we are just.
It wasn't so much of a mystery with clues anymore. It was just like, here's the pattern, just do it.
And I just had.
And it was kind of good because people could do it at their own pace.
And once it was out there,
you can't take it back.
No. And I got a message from one person. I thought, oh my gosh, what?
And
did I
you know
just
what
do?
I said? Let it go.
Let it go.
You can't do anything about it, so don't worry about it. Next year's a new year. We'll do it again.
And it just goes to show you that everybody is human.
Mm-hmm.
We all live a very similar life in that we have regrets, we make mistakes, we pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. We hope there's grace
learn
to, have people that forgive us. And, that's just the way life is. God created us as humans, and humans do dumb things sometimes. So so anything else, Nitty?
Last call.
Last call for Nitty and hands up and fiber related things. Raise your hand now or forever hold your peace. Don't complain later. I'm not much of a mystery knit along, so it was sweet for.
It's sweet for her. She got all the clues at once, maybe.
That and so maybe. But do it again.
Try it again. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
You'll like the end product.
Yeah. It is.
And if you don't like it,
really
give it
beautiful.
away, right? That's the benefit of doing it at Mother's Day. You can give it as a gift to somebody.
Yeah, so let me tell you that Danielle DM Brown, 1970, I think is her IG name. She always helps me with my patterns, and she knit because she just can knit all day and she gets them done so quickly, and she's good at not criticizing, but giving me feedback and she's constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told her, I said, because when I knit it, I tweak it, and you don't rip out everything. Your patterns, they've all never disappointed. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
And thank you for saying that, even though that wasn't true, but that's okay. So I said to Danielle, now that I tweaked it, because when I knit is not really ends up being the actual finished pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to Danielle, I said, could you please send me yours? I promise I'll send it back. And she's like, sure. So she sent it to me. I said, is it okay if I wear it a couple times? Because it's not warm so much yet. And she's like, just spray it with perfume, so when you send it back, it smells like you. It's so funny.
She's the sweetest.
It was really sweet. So at least I have something in front of me that actually is actually the way the pattern is. But it's going to be fun. Very easy, very beginner friendly. Mm-hmm. Okay, last call. Okay, done.
I think it's it.
Let's talk about our little trip to the stationery store. If you remember the last podcast, a couple times we've talked, Debbie and I have started getting into more journaling, writing. I used to write all the time. I've written short stories, memoirs, things like that. And it's something that I got away from, and I really find a lot of joy in that. And we have some inky friends, and they write with the ink in their fountain pens, and I take a paintbrush and I paint everything with the ink. So we were using inks in different ways. And I needed to get a couple more journals. I'll show you kind of what I got. So
I splurged and got myself a new pen because my birthday.
Why don't you get it?
Because it's a black pen. It's not much to see, and you can't really see it on there. If they're really all that interested,
I'm gonna go get it.
Amy. Okay.
I'm gonna go get it.
So when I got to Dag's house, she pulled out Lamy 2000 fountain pen, and hers has gold nib, double broad architect nib, which is basically, it's not a regular squared off nib. It kind of has an angle, and it ends up, when you write, it ends up writing kind of like a calligraphy, like a flat calligraphy nib. And I said, oh my gosh, double broad is pretty wide. I said, this is beautiful. It writes so smooth, puts so much ink on the paper, but it was a little bit too wide for me. Is it in here?
I don't know. I couldn't find it sitting anywhere else.
Yes, it's in here. Okay.
I'll hold it close.
So I said, wow, I don't have any architect nibs. I have a broad nib, and I probably would get an architect broad, if there is a such a thing. I said, that is an amazing, wow, how we get to the store.
BB Oblique.
BB Oblique. Oblique, not architect.
Hey,
Oblique.
Danny. Good to see you.
Who's that? Oh, hi. Hi, Danny. So anyway, I get to the store. What do they have? They have a broad oblique nib, white gold on a Lamy 2000 pen. And I'm thinking, I looked at Amy. I said, Amy.
Some people go to the casino and throw money down the toilet. Why don't you come and get something that is as gorgeous as this?
It is black, matte finish that almost looks like a carbon fiber. The tip of the finial is shiny black, and the tip of the bottom of the pen is like a silvery, really pretty.
You ready for the reveal? Ready for the reveal?
Yes, go.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, hold that. Oops.
Hold it maybe in front of your hand. Yeah. It's really a beautiful pen, and it writes like a hot knife through butter. It is very nice. So well. So I said, and she actually gave me a discount because she knows Dag. Dag frequents there often, and she knew it was my birthday. And I think we just, yeah. So she gave me a discount. I was like, okay, this is probably the last thing I'm going to buy.
Mm-hmm. It's very beautiful.
For myself, because I have a good selection of fountain pens now, and I don't need any more pens. I need other things in my life that are going to be more functional and versatile for me, like a new washer and dryer. I need a washer and dryer.
So she's walking around the store, literally saying out loud, washer and dryer, washer and dryer, washer and dryer, washer and dryer. And the owner of the store is like, where did this one get let out?
Lady?
Washer and dryer, washer and dryer. I said, so Debbie looks at me because I'm looking at journals. She's like, the devil in me is telling me that I should purchase this because it's my birthday and there's no justification I'm worth it. I said, no, that's not the devil. That's like something that you probably work really hard for. Why not?
And it had the oblique B nib that I just told Dag earlier in that day if I could find one, but that's going to be really hard to find. And there it was in her store right there on my birthday. So I was like, all right.
And I said, who said you can't get the Lamy and a washer and dryer? Hello, oops. Hello, get both.
Yeah. So that was my splurge. And I got 2 bottles of ink. They were each on sale, $8 a bottle. One was Tanzanite and one was something
Amber Rose.
So that was my purchase. I tried to keep it. She went a little. No, you didn't go crazy. You got the things that were on your list, right?
Yes, I got things on my list. Okay. I got a couple little, just regular writing pens, and look at this cool journal. And this reminds me of a story that I had with Sky when she was about 5. She asked me, Mom, are witches real?
Really?
Yeah.
Witches?
Yeah. Or she asked me something about spells. Can people put a spell on yours? And witches? And I said, well, we believe in God and we don't believe in witches and we don't believe in spells. Mm-hmm. And I went through this whole Adam and Eve and this, trying not to go really as far as Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. It was not part of the conversation. Right. I was glad it didn't come up. And I said, so in the end, witches, you can't have a spell be put on you because witches you cannot.
Right.
And she says, okay, but mermaids are real.
And you said, yes, they are real.
That's exactly what I said. I said, okay. I said, okay. And I thought all that talking about witches and spells, and now she said
no to mermaids. Then the next is
I know. So at that time,
Santa.
So when I found this beautiful little journal with this mermaid, it reminds me of that conversation I had with Sky, and she swore that's.
Does she remember that conversation?
I don't know, but I've told her about it.
You need to write it in that book.
Maybe I do, and it's just blank, which is great because I like to write big, small, on the diagonal. It just depends. This. I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing with this in just a bit. And I thought about getting a 5-year diary. Debbie has a 5-year diary that she started
with Tanya on Christmas last year.
So she's already have a whole year written now.
And let me tell you, I'm just going to interrupt you.
No, interrupt.
It is, especially when you're going through transitions in your life, it is an amazing thing
to look back.
Write in a day, go back to that same day last year and remember what you were doing on that day. And these spaces that you have to write in are about 2.5, 3 little lines, very small. So you don't have a lot of space to write a book. It's really just to kind of jot down either your thought for the day, what happened that was like significant.
This one's just got that little space there.
What was in the news.
Yeah, major things going on, whatever.
When I looked back, just 2 days ago, when I looked back at what happened to me on that day a year ago versus what happened to me on that day this year, I'm so thankful I started that 5-year journey. And it takes a little bit of discipline. You find a little bit of your day.
That's good. Like
in the morning. Well, usually at the end of the day, or you can do it in the morning for the previous day. However, whatever works for you. I do it in the evening after I take Buddy up to the park, after I've had my dinner, before I kind of settle in for the night. I write what happened that day.
You need to do that, Danny.
Fabulous.
Because we are bossy and tell people what to do. I'm telling you what to do.
She probably already does. She probably has a journal for her little boy.
As long as it does to make yourself up a nice hot cup of tea,
yeah,
and get a little something.
Literally not even 2 minutes. It doesn't take 2 minutes to write.
It forces you to make a synopsis in 2 or 3 sentences. Makes you really think about, what do I really want to say about today? What stood out today?
And sometimes I took a snippet from the news because it was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like the January 6th day, the storming of the Capitol. I mean, that was significant. I wrote that in there. And then some of the little things that happened after that. But anyway,
so this is what I
found one.
And, it was funny because Dag said, there's so many things you can buy off Amazon, blah, blah, blah. What about the kettle? Yep, you need to do that. And you know what? Amazon is great, but little stores like this don't stay in business if everybody buys off of Amazon. And I told the lady at the store, I think this is the only...
It's the only one they had.
The only one they had. I said, where's your 5-year? And this is beautiful. I was just like, well, if this is the only one they had, it's gorgeous. I'll take it anyway. And it had my name on it, basically. It said, and I said, I don't want to order something and start it after the fact. I wanted to start it on Debbie's birthday yesterday. On this trip, I wanted to start it yesterday, and I did. And you saw in the pink, I wrote in a little blurb. So that's going to be a new discipline thing for me.
A new habit.
A new habit. And I bought another journal a little bit at the beginning of the year. I wanted a little, not really a bullet journal, but just my own artsy fartsy journal. And I kind of already started doing 1 line a day. 1 line. So this little journal that I got myself, it's a beautiful journal. It's got a little place for a pen. I bought it at the beginning of the year. And I just sort of made a little January page and just my inky things. And so in January, this is one of the little things I didn't fill in every day. I should have. But that's the way life is. And a couple of the days, I put like what gas is, and how expensive gas is, and
how much you paid for your tank of gas.
COVID, spent the first 2 weeks quarantining from work for COVID. I mean, just life things, right? Little quotes that I heard and saw. So then I made a little February page with just papers and things. So my February page was done, and I write in every single day. And you have that for me. You have that much space.
I want to put it all up out there. People can screenshot that and then read all the stuff.
Read all the things all the Secret Service things I do. So I started my March page, my March month. So I brought it with me. And so it's just been...
And look at this. I got to show you. Amy is making these beautifully hand-painted inky things. Are they not awesome? I have a couple in my journal, too. She's given me some.
So, and so I'm thinking, okay, well then we're here together. And so we start talking about things and watching videos and start making lists and start all of these important things you do with your sister. And you know what? If I go through halfway through this until the next month, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is my journal. You can do whatever you want. That's the nice thing about art and writing. There are no rules. I think the only rule is just do it.
Yeah.
Just discipline yourself to do it, because even if it ends up in a box in someone's attic and your great-grandkids are like, what is this? Always date it. Always date it.
Yeah.
You say, oh my gosh,
are
you kidding me? Can you imagine if you had something like this, even if it was a couple letters or even a little diary from your great-great-grandmother? That would be in that box if there was a house fire that with your Bible that you would take to run out of there.
Yeah.
This is something maybe not for you right now, but for somebody in the future. The title to your car.
The title to your car.
Okay, so So let's talk about the couple. Let's talk about you first, and we're going to bring back the Mermaid Journal. Talk a little bit about something.
What?
Let's talk about all the incredible things that maybe that's sort of in the works right now. You don't have to go into too much detail, but just you said you didn't want to talk about it. Yes, just talk a little bit about you're in the airport and what happened.
Okay, I'm buying a house.
She said it. Okay, so that's enough. So let me tell you what we're doing with this journal. I'm only kidding. She didn't want to say anything about it.
I have been searching for a house. The market in San Diego is insane. You don't get to go and look at 5 houses and have a couple weeks to figure it out and decide. Like, if you don't decide that you want that house, put an offer on it. In 2 days, they review the offers. They pick an offer. It's closed. Like, you're done. You don't have time. So I've went to several different open houses over the last couple weekends. I put 2 offers in on 2 other houses, didn't get them. I said, okay, that wasn't my house. I wasn't supposed to have that house.
God did not choose that house for you. God did not choose
that. Sunday night before this trip was going to happen on Wednesday, we were flying. Sunday night, my son and I were looking at houses at the latest listings. I found a listing. I changed my search criteria. It popped up a little bit farther east than where I was looking. I just said, let's look at it. What does it look like? It checked every box on my criteria and then some. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to make an offer. And James is like, what? No, you're not going to make an offer on a house that you've never seen before. So I said, all right, you're right. I'll text my realtor. I'll see where they are in their process. Maybe they already have offers and they're picking tomorrow, and I lost out on this one too. And we'll just
the open house is coming up and we're not even going to be around. Yeah, she's going to be here.
Because I'm going to be here. Well, the open house was the previous day, so I didn't get to go and see it during the open. I said, well, can you make an appointment? Maybe I can take a long lunch hour. It's exactly what happened. I went and looked at it on Monday. They were taking offers through the end of the day Tuesday. They were making a decision on Wednesday. What did I do? I made an offer on Tuesday morning. I'm sitting in the airport
Wednesday,
waiting for the flight to come here, and my realtor says, are you still on the ground? I texted back. I said, yes. He said, they accepted your offer. I was like, what? Oh my God. So we're still, there's still steps we have to go through. It's not 100%, has to appraise, have to do the inspection, all that stuff. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm really hoping the Lord has said this is my house.
So the next time we're together, face to face, in several months from now, we may be doing it from
my new house. It's not a new house. It's newer than me.
Yeah, but it's new to you.
It was built in 1972, so it's even younger than me. 2 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't want to jinx it. It's got lots of really great stuff, and it's right down the street from my friend who hired me at my current job.
Who has a pizza oven in her back
She's
porch.
got one of those chimenea, old-fashioned big oven inside, and you make a fire in the back of it, and you slide your pizza in, and it bakes your pizza. So that's my stomach. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. Growling. We have to make a night with her when I come.
Yes, she's right. So anyway, it's awesome.
And it's near a park. Mm-hmm. Just like you got a dog park right from where you are now, Buddy's gonna have a place that he can run around, at least go and walk to.
It's a big blessing, and I'm excited about it. But we'll see. We'll see if it works.
And we have to say to ourselves, because we believe that God has already planned our steps. Mm-hmm. If this does not happen, there's even better house than this house. Disappointments in life are disappointments, but when you know that God has got it already figured out, mm-hmm. we don't have to worry. We don't have to be fearful.
Yeah,
He only wants the best for us.
And oftentimes that's why they say hindsight's 20/20, because you look back and you say, "Aha, that's why."
That's why the other 2 fell through. She was getting a little bit like, oh man,
I was getting frustrated. But each of those other houses, there was one little thing that I was just kind of like, I'm a little bit nervous about that. But if it's my house, it'll be my house. I'm a little nervous about that. This house, I wasn't nervous. I was just like, I'm going to put my best offer out. If it's overpriced for what the house is going to appraise, I don't even care, because if this is the house, it'll work out. Yeah. So that's my latest, greatest, exciting news. So I've got a lot of adulting. That's why I have to buy a washer and dryer. Buy a washer and dryer. I have to figure out what to do with the floors, and I have all kinds of fun things. But packing is in my future. That's my latest, biggest thing.
And a lot of things are already packed because you live in a very small space anyway, and you couldn't unpack.
And how long is this video? 54 minutes. Okay,
we're going to
wrap it up soon.
Okay.
Amy's going to tell us what she's going to be up to with her new journal.
What we are going to be up to.
Yes.
Okay, so a couple years ago, I researched and got on the IF bandwagon. Thank you. Congratulations, Debbie.
Thank you.
Intermittent fasting, and you have a goal in mind and you reach that goal, and then after that you're like,
woohoo, let's have a party.
Let's just drink, go to Mexican every week and don't have to go run and work out and blah blah blah. And then life happens, and then you gain some weight back, and you're just like, finally, now I'm at the age, and Debbie too, we have a lot of back pain issues, joint pain issues. I feel like the home health physical therapist needs her own personal physical therapist. I said every time I get up from the couch, I'm like getting up very slowly. The first couple steps are painful.
Yeah.
And my husband's just like, I know in his mind, he's like, oh my, she's 53 and she's already going to be
falling
broke.
apart.
She's broke. And how are we going to make it the next 30, 40 years? Seriously.
Yeah.
And I guess you have to get to the point where you get so sick and tired of being sick and tired that you're like, I have got to do something. I've got to do something different. I have to do that. And Debbie's best friend, Tanya,
I shared her story with Amy because I said, what you're saying reminds me a lot of what she said a year ago. And Tanya has really helped me over the last year to change some of the things that I'm eating and the way I eat. I've cut out a lot of things in my normal everyday eating that I don't eat anymore. I have a ways to go. There's some good healthy changes that I can still make. But I cut back on a lot of things and started eating a lot cleaner and a lot more vegetables and a lot more fruits. And
this girl, Tanya, is sort of the living example of living a paleo diet, which is just literally protein and fruits and vegetables, what God has provided on this earth. Nothing processed.
She realized through the whole thing that she really does have an autoimmune disease to where her immune system was breaking down her and fighting against the health of her body. And she really had to heal her gut. And to do that, she researched so much stuff. She read up on everything. She realized, she said, all right, I'm just going to jump in and cut everything out of my diet except the basic things that they say to start with and see what happens. And she melted away.
I wonder if it wasn't even bad if I showed that picture.
I think we should ask her before you do that.
Okay.
So anyways, when we look at the before and after, you say, oh my gosh, she's puffy here. She's puffy. And here, all of that is just like melted away. I mean, she lost a bunch of weight, and it wasn't even,
the
goal was not to lose weight. The goal was to feel better.
And that's what I want. I just want to be able to feel better. I think I have a funny milk allergy to whole milk. I used to get headaches as a kid. And I think, and I'm curious if what I'm feeding my body, what I think is healthy, is not the right foods. And I can do, and when I put my mind to something, ask my husband, there's no turning back.
I started with nightshades. Tomato and green pepper I ate almost every single day.
And those are healthy things. They're vegetables. They cause inflammation.
My hip would wake me up in the middle of the night, and I could not move and get to a comfortable position because I had so much pain in my hip. I took out tomatoes and green peppers. The pain went away. I don't have hip pain now.
It's amazing to think that maybe the things that are aching me and hurting me is just this process of just not getting down to the basics. So I'm sort of like an all or none. Either I'm eating chocolate throughout the day or I'm eating none of it for the next year kind of thing. And it's just truly all of the things that you think, and it's not going to kill me. It's not. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see how I feel. So this is going to be my food diary. Tanya says, write down the time you eat it. At 50, I'm going to go back and read these comments because I can't right now. Gluten, and I know I'm going to write down the time I eat it, what I eat, and how I felt
after.
Because some people may have sensitivities to some things and other people not. So it's we're starting it. I'm starting it when I get home. I'm going to start attention.
Paying attention. And it's crazy because once I cut out tomato and green pepper, I realized I don't have pain anymore. Well, then
you did realize that?
I did, and I told her, I said that has helped my inflammation in my hip. I don't have that pain anymore. To think that maybe there's one more thing. Maybe dairy is causing some of the pain in my back. I don't know. Maybe it's causing stomach not feeling exactly great every time after I eat. I don't know. I haven't cut out dairy yet, so I cut out cheese. I don't eat hardly any cheese anymore, but I still eat eggs.
That's gonna be a big thing.
I put creamer in my coffee. you know, and I put almond milk in my smoothie. So almond is not dairy, but nuts are part of the, you know,
the one person I'm going to be following under
Paleo
Tanya
Mom.
is, it's called The Paleo Mom, all one word, on Instagram.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like the dietary guru
for this AIP. She created AIP, which is autoimmune protocol, and it basically describes all the foods that you that are good foods and bad foods, and it's really finding the foods that provide you the most nutrients, the most healthy, rich nutrient foods that don't also cause inflammation and the things that are bad for your gut. And so there are some really good foods out there, but the negative that is attached to that food, like an inflammatory response you might get from tomatoes, kind of outweighs the benefit of the vitamins that you get from the tomatoes.
And some people may not have such an inflammation response. They may say, I like to eat peppers and tomatoes.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. So it's basically, they really want you to start at the bottom. Well, this is how I'm going to do it. And over time, reintroduce foods and see how, it's almost like finding food allergies.
Yeah.
They say, cut everything out. And then you add one thing. Because if you add 5 things, you don't know, is it the nuts? Is it the milk? Is it the sugar? Yeah. What is it that made you do that? So the things that are going to change my life drastically come Tuesday morning. No more coffee.
Yeah, me too.
For me. No more cheese. No more. I mean, the things you cut out is everything that is not grown out of the ground or walking on you can have fish, proteins, even beefs, you know, turkey, bacon, but fruits and vegetables. And that's all. No grains.
No processed anything.
No processed cheeses, no breads, no those kinds of carbohydrates and things like that. So I'm really, once I was sort of not happy and wanting to change things up, and I'm like, maybe I need to just start some back exercises. Maybe I just need to do some walking, you know, some of the basic stuff. I mean, I know all of that. I'm PT of 26 years, and I just felt there was more to that. There was just more to that. So that is, I'm going to be doing something new. If anybody has any advice or any
Don't
tips,
come to us. We're not experts. And
don't
go
come
to Tanya either. Go to Paleo Mom on Instagram.
Go to The Paleo Mom. But please they can leave comments afterwards, right?
On this video?
We're gonna upload this up to our Periscoping Sisters channel.
I think it goes automatically.
Okay, so in there you can add a comment down or a reply. Anything I'm asking for, any advice you can give to help along the way. So I told my husband a little bit kind of what I'm going to be doing. And we'd go to Mexican. We eat Mexican every Friday night. I said, okay, so how is that? I have a 14-year-old daughter, Sky. I don't expect her to do paleo anything, and I shouldn't deprive her from going to Mexican, and my husband too. But I thought I can go. I mean, if I could pick 2 foods to eat the rest of my life, and I can only eat 2 foods, it would be pizza and donuts. I could
really? You'd pick those 2?
Yes.
Oh.
Pizza and donuts. I can walk past a freshly box of Dunkin' Donuts. Well, I can do that and not eat it. I can smell them. I can look at them and not eat it. When I put my mind to something, I can do that. So I will be able to sit at Mexican restaurant, not eat any chips or queso dip or salsa.
You put yourself through that torture.
I will. It's almost like I'm showing myself that I do have the power, and with God's help, I have the power to do that. Yeah. So what it's going to look like, I'm going to order grilled chicken and shrimp with mushrooms and onions with a side of guacamole or avocado, whatever. And that's all. That's all. And I will be full and I'll eat it all. So I said to Debbie, I said, the biggest thing for me, because I'm not a cook and I don't profess to be a cook, I'm going to have to do a lot of meal prep on the weekends, and that's okay. I'm planning on doing that if I have a plan and I can organize. I'm not a big, I mean, I like salads, but I'm not a big vegetable eater, only because I don't know how to cook them. I don't know what to do with them. So I said to Debbie, and Debbie said, try 1 new vegetable a week. Just something
new.
Hop
online and see, and go to the resources that we have at our fingertips.
And paleo diet, you know, recipes for kale or whatever, kale chips, things like that. So Debbie had told me a lot about they make cauliflower rice. It's called cauliflower rice. It's in the frozen food section, and you just cook it like rice.
You don't cook it like rice. You don't have to. Well,
no, I mean no, but like in a pan with a.
When it's all done, it looks like a grain because it's chopped up real small and it's white, so it looks like rice, but it's actually cauliflower. And it gives you the texture of like you're eating a starch, but it's cauliflower. It's a vegetable that you can eat as much as you want, and you put that underneath your protein and you eat it together. It's almost like you're eating a rice
Chop suey?
dish. Chop suey.
Is massage it. Yeah, kale. That
Yeah.
my daughter-in-law makes kale chips. And so there's lots of things out there, these dark green leafy vegetables, like in the South, all they do is they cook them down to mush.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And the texture, it's like, God, don't make me eat greens of anything. But if I can make them like chips, and I could eat them that way. I just
Plantains will save your life, Amy.
Yeah.
Plantains will save your
Debbie
life.
makes her own fresh plantain chips.
Baked plantain chips.
Yeah.
So I get a chopper.
Yeah, chopper. So and I don't care about how much money I spend. You think about all the money you spend on like potato chips and bread and desserts and chocolate and all the rest of the things, Pop-Tarts and cereals and all the rest of the things in your closet. So, and my husband said, I'm going to do it with you. Like without even talking to him face to face, just texting a little bit about what I'm going to do. And he knows me. He says, doctor's appointments, yes, and I've got my mammogram coming up. And it's, he's just like, I'll do it with you.
Well, you can't go wrong if you're eating healthy meat and vegetables, right? I mean, anybody. I'm not concerned about putting information out there to anybody that watches us,
professing that we.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't try and give a diabetic advice. I know nothing about diabetes, but you can't go wrong eating.
But what I love about paleo and even intermittent fasting and I think I'm probably going to combine the two. I'm going to have a window and maybe a 6 or 8 hour window, not a 4 hour a day like I used to do. But I love that and I look at it as a lifestyle, not as a diet. I'm going to look at it as a new way of living. And when I start feeling better, and not having back pain and not having back spasms every other night, not being able to help my patients with transfer training because I'm afraid my back is going to go into spasm. I mean, this is like affecting my life. It's negatively affecting my life. And also with this paleo mindset and lifestyle is other things like getting enough sleep.
Reducing your stress.
Moving your body a little bit. You don't have to do jumping jacks or planks or Pilates or run. Just getting up and moving around. Mm-hmm. So you see it, I can embrace this as a lifestyle. I really can. I know I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I cannot fail. Right?
Not with a coach like Tanya.
No.
She has been such a lifesaver.
Yeah, she really is.
And
I just need recipes. I just need to take one little step at a time. I'm just going to do one little step at a time. So cauliflower rice is this first step this week.
And you can do turkey bacon. You can do uncured regular bacon.
Because a lot of the things, that's what Tanya's teaching me, a lot of the foods that you may think are okay, I almost think like if it has a label on it, it's probably not okay for you. But bacon has to be processed. It has to be put in something.
Yeah.
So the air fryer, that's the other thing she uses a lot. Yes, Danny. And the only thing our air fryer is used for is for French fries
and yucky fried food,
fish sticks and things like that. I don't eat those necessarily, but the air fryer really is a perfect tool that I need to learn how to use even better. So stay tuned. So maybe next time you see us together, I'm hoping to come in the summer. I really do. I need to come and you make little lifelong changes. You're good. That's right. And just stick. It's more about sticking to it, being consistent, setting up healthy habits. Yeah. And healthy habits can be writing in a journal, doing a little bit of art and creating every day,
getting up early and walking the dog outside instead of letting him use the doggy door. Just like starting your day a little bit early, getting some fresh air and change your mindset. And I need to start resetting my clock so that when I get back from this trip, next week is the first real week where everybody's expected to start coming back to the office a couple days a week instead of working 100% at home. And so we're going to have to relearn the commuting, and I'm going to be in a new place.
Isn't it so funny? 2 years ago, literally this month, our world changed, and we were trying to figure out how to do life now, how to kids to learn how everything. And now we've gotten sort of used to that. That's our new normal. And now we're trying to get back to the old normal. And it seems like so back in the dinosaur age, people actually drive on the freeway to go to work instead of working at home. Why would they do that? Yeah. Well, there was a lot. Different. Tell a really quick story before we leave about the store,
my company.
No, just about what you've learned about soap being in front of people. And the effect that has on people. And
yeah,
how being away from people has that effect on people.
I heard on my Christian radio station the physiological effects of smiling and how it can it releases endorphins and things in your body that really help your mental state. And I thought about that and the fact that when you're working from home and you're by yourself for a long period of time every day, and you're on Zoom calls, and a lot of times you don't turn your video on and you're just listening and you're talking, how often do you smile when you're by yourself? You really don't. It's not a natural thing to walk around and smile. But as soon as you go into a public place and you see other people, the first hopefully reaction you have is to make a nice greeting, a nice smile. Hello, how was your weekend? And I cannot even tell you, I've been back to the office a couple times over the last couple weeks, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be such a chore. I got to get up early.
I got to put makeup on.
Figure out what I'm going to wear. I got to do extra because I got to drive and
that's
find
the other
commute.
Thing. Figuring out what to wear. Other people are having the same issue. They've been home in their pajamas. They've not been working out. They've not been exercising. They put on weight, and now they've got to go back to people that they were in front of. And like now, I don't feel good about myself. Yeah. I don't feel good.
And when I went into the office on those couple days, man, I was energized. I was excited. I had a fun mental day. Okay, maybe I didn't get as much productive work done in that specific day, but I collaborated with people. I connected with people.
We took that for granted because we never knew any other way.
Yes. And COVID has been so isolating and just so detrimental for a lot of people. And, you know, part of my job as a people leader in my company, that's what they call managers, people leaders, is to help encourage people. This is going to be fun. We're going to be able to see each other and we're going to have meetings. And my company is awesome.
So you basically brainwash people to get them to do what you want them to do.
No, but I have to set the example. I myself felt the benefit of going back and being surprised by that, thinking it was going to be a negative chore for me. And it ended up being a really positive, fun thing.
So what we learned, I've had a new lease in life when I was home with COVID. Thank God it was a mild case I got from one of my patients. Unfortunately, the first 2 weeks of January, literally, I was at home waiting to go back to work because I was quarantined. And I've learned watching a lot of videos that, you know what, it all starts with what you think. If your thoughts are negative, you will have negative feelings that produce negative actions. So it doesn't matter how bad life can get. If you start with a positive thought, then your body is going to find everything in the world to make you right. And you will then feel a positive way and create positive actions. So Debbie, you were like, I'm going to take it on, even though you were sort of mopey, like, I was going to, like, okay.
I didn't really want to go back to work.
Yeah.
But I'm part of a small group in the company who's coming up with ideas to make it fun to come back to work. We're having food catered in. We're having Sudoku challenges during break time. You know, go to the
you may have a doggy
room.
Day. You can
we're gonna have a bring your pet to work day. We're gonna have raffles. We're gonna have swag. They're gonna have companies gonna come in and have T-shirts, swag, and you know. So it's difficult to make those changes. And I know I'm headed for a big change because I'm gonna be relocating to a different part of the county. About a half an hour on the other side of town from where I live now, from where I work. I'm going all the way onto the other side. So I have a lot I'm going to have to relearn. But I have to think that this is the path that God has put in front of me. And I have to know that it's, you know, he brought me to it. He's going to bring me through it. So lots of changes, but lots of fun ahead, I think. And I'm going to be joining you and cutting out certain things out of I've already done some things, but I'm going to be cutting out eggs, coffee and creamer, dairy, and the little bit of sugar. I like to have like a little Hershey's Kiss after a meal, a couple Hershey's Kisses.
And we've learned that dark chocolate, and you know what? Not all dark chocolates are made the same. So
but there are some things out there that you can have. But yeah, so that's what's in store for us. We always come in here with all this big news, and we've been on the line for 70 some minutes.
Oh my gosh, Mom is going to be so mad. She's going to be like, "Why did you talk that long about things?"
She can. That's okay.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up and say, if you can't be kind,
be quiet. Think positive thoughts. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Starts with positive thoughts.
We miss all you guys. We look forward to hearing from you. Reach out to us on the comments here on YouTube or look us up on Instagram.
We'll let you know how it's going. And please, any advice you have for me in this new track.
Share your stories because I think they help everybody that reads the comments. They help. We can help each other.
And it may just enough spark somebody to go to their doctor and say, "Hey, what is this about?" I mean,
stuff?
maybe I'm on all of these meds. Not saying you don't have to be on meds. Like
Yeah.
I said, I have to take ibuprofen on a regular basis. I'm 53. I should not have to be able to have to do that.
Yeah.
And if it is a true functional or mechanical issue, I need to get that addressed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put better things in my body.
Me too.
Wine's going to be hard to give up, but I'm going to do it. All right.
Talk to you guys soon.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. And we have to turn it off somehow, so we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Up in the top, the X.